On the first Saturday of this month, I had a prophetic dream about a tremendous rain, a terrible rain that is going to cause many, many, many people to die. And this rain, there is going to be some warning about some rain. It is going to be such a tremendous rain that it is going to cause a great flooding, and people are going to die as a result of the flooding. A lot of people are going to die who don't heed the warning. Particularly, I was shown there are going to be people at what appeared to be an airport where people were all waiting and waiting. Many people were milling around as they are when they are waiting for planes. I didn't see any planes or anything else to know for sure it was an airport. But when I was seeing it from afar, it seemed I was looking at an airport that went down to lower levels. This building, I was seeing it from miles distance as the rain was pouring down. People were in lines starting from outside, going into the terminal, and all the people in that place. I knew waters were going to flood there, and they were just going to die. And people who were going to be out in church, in those churches in this area, they were going to die, most of them in these places. The rain was going to be that bad. In fact, I was in a church in that place during that rain. I was talking with the pastor of that church as it was taking place, and he was telling me a similar disaster that happened. But this one happened with a bear breaking into the church, taking some corpses, and the people were warned of the coming of the bear to the church. But they didn't pay heed, and this was the same situation, that the people were warned and didn't pay heed. As this pastor was speaking to me about how this rain was like that bear disaster, one that could have been avoided if people listened, I was having a panoramic scope of that whole area, seeing the streets, the city, and the airport as if the church walls became see-through, and I was having a multi-camera live pan of the whole area, different parts of the land, which was all green as if summer, and getting a longer look at the structure that seemed an airport, where the most deaths would happen because of the large numbers of people there. And I asked the pastor, is this an end time rain, the end of the world kind rain? And he said, no, it was not. But it was going to cause a lot of people's death who, if they had paid attention, if they were listening, wouldn't have happened. But they just went ahead with their plans. And that is what happened here. They just went with their plans. They just went ahead and ignored everything and went about their regular plans out in these places that were low-lying, out in all the elements. I remember feeling the panic of the situation when I was being told that all the people in that airport, all the people in those lines, all those people out and about in their business, everyone was going to die. For certain, all those outside were going to die, as well as everyone inside that terminal. Now at this point, I am not certain whether this is going to be a literal rain that is going to cause such a situation where so many people are going to die from the resulting floods, or if this represents the disasters that are coming on people, that many are going to die, if it's going to be a spiritual death as well, who, if they heeded the warnings, if they paid attention to the signs, if they paid attention to the dangers, they wouldn't have died. The important message of the dream is that the way all of these people just completely and entirely, utterly dismissed and wrote off all the warnings They were being told every single warning, and they just acted as if there was no consequences. That it is this attitude of indifference that is going to take all the lives of those people in one terrible situation. And the tragedy of it is only because they simply hardened themselves. They were stubborn in their hearts, and they didn't want to acknowledge anything but their own ideas of the world. That was the terrible thing of it. Every one of those persons didn't have to die. The warnings were sufficient. They were given long enough. And only total rejection of the warnings was why everyone, so many people died. That was the whole message. The deaths I saw, not one had to take place.